Okay, in this tutorial I am going to show you how to send out a newsletter directly through Aweber using the new format that is going to ensure that the layout of the newsletter looks correct for everybody. I still do encourage you to send out a test before you send out the newsletter to everybody in the congregation. This will just ensure that the actual newsletter does look appropriate before you send it out. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and log into Aweber. And you are going to want to have your Notepad++ open where you have already created the layout for the newsletter. Next, what I'm going to do is go to Messages and go to Broadcast. And you are going to want to scroll down on the page past where it says Pending Broadcasts, down to where it says Sent Broadcasts. And then you are going to want to copy the latest broadcast that you sent because this one is one that you know was in the correct format. So it's going to be a baseline of where to start. So I'm going to go ahead and press the copy button on the far right hand side of the page. And as you can see, it says a new message has been created. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the subject line to today's date. So December 1st, 2010, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and I'm going to save the document. The reason for this is going to be the baseline or our initial starting point of a layout that we know is already correct. So if there is ever a mistake and the layout does get messed up, we can always go back to this initial starting point and attempt to do it again as far as plugging in the data from the Notepad++ into Aweber. So as you can see, the subject line, December 1st, 2010, we want to keep that there as the baseline, so I want to press copy. This is going to copy that message. And the first thing I'm going to do is just change the subject line and put test in here. The reason for that is just so we can distinguish it from the original. And next, what we are going to want to do is change the date here to the correct date. Again, December 1, 2010. And next, we are going to want to take the information from the Notepad++ and plug it in directly to Aweber. One thing I would do, another suggestion just for your own guidance, is put the title above each section. So for instance, this looks like it is Like a Watered Garden. This with the dates looks like it's probably what's happening. So just possibly putting the title in each of these so you actually can easily tell what you're copying and where it needs to go in what section. So I'm going to copy this since this looks like it's Like a Watered Garden. Going to come over here and I'm going to put my cursor one sentence down. I don't want to start at the very top, but one sentence down, and I'm going to press enter a few times just so there's a blank space. And what that's going to make certain we do is when we are pasting in the text from the Notepad++, that we keep the same spacing, the font, and everything is going to look appropriate in the newsletter. Then I'm going to put my cursor in the blank space, and I'm going to press Control-V on my keyboard, which is the command to copy. So I copied that. Next, I'm going to delete what is below it, so all of what was there for last week or the last broadcast that was sent out. And I don't recall this having Carissa's name at the bottom, so I'm just going to save her name and put that in the newsletter. And also we want to make certain we delete the top sentence. And there we go. We have filled in that section Like a Watered Garden. And I'm going to repeat that exact same process for each of the lower sections. So for this, I'm going to start in the middle, leave a big open space, come back to my notepad. again, highlight what you want to paste. And it went quite fast, so I don't know. Looks like I went too far. So there's life and news of the congregation. So this is what I was talking about, just a header. Looks like there's a header there. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to scroll up just slowly. So if you just barely put your cursor up, instead of too far up, then it will scroll slowly for you. And I'm going to highlight up to where we want, and I'm going to press Control-C on my keyboard to copy that. I'm going to come back here to the blank space and press again Control-V on my keyboard, and it's going to paste in what we want in this section. Next, again, I am going to delete everything that was in the past newsletter. Again, just scrolling down slowly, going to the end and pressing delete. Pressing delete again just to get the spacing to look a little bit better so there's not a big gap in between the sections. Then I'm going to scroll up to the top and delete what was there. The calendar, we want to keep that because this looks like it is the calendar. And it should be good to go. Again, we are going to go back at the very end of this and just make certain all of the headers stick out from one another to make it bold and make it the appropriate size. But I want to input all of the text initially and then move on to that at the very last step. So then let's scroll down to life and news of the congregation. Excuse me. And I'm just scrolling down. Looks like here is the end of it. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Again, just going into the middle of the document, pressing enter multiple times, and then Control-V on the keyboard to paste. And I'm going to delete what we had there previously. Then again, just delete to help the spacing look a little bit better. Go up to the top of the document. And delete. Okay. Then youth news, same process. Pressing Control-C to copy. Going back to Aweber. Starting in the middle, making a big blank section, and pressing Control-V. And then deleting what was there previously. Oops. Scrolled down a little bit too far. Making the spacing look a little bit better. Okay. And deleting what was there previously. Again, just correcting the spacing a little bit. That looks good. And now outreach opportunities. It looks like this is the last section. So pressing Control-C. Again, just starting down a little ways in the middle, making a big open section, pressing Control-V on the keyboard, and the same process, deleting what was there previously.